Hello everybody, welcome to the Best Life channel. I am Donna E. Knight and I want to welcome you to our Girl Talk today. I am so excited. I have two guests here with me today and we are going to discuss my book, Unlock the Mystery of Love. But before we dig into that, let me tell you, got three things I want you to do. I want you to like this video, okay? I want you to subscribe to the channel. Hit the subscribe button right down below the video. And I want you to share this video with someone that you know this video would help. Because girls, we love to talk about love, right?
Right.
And that's what we're talking about today. Okay, I'm going to let my guests introduce themselves. These people are very near and dear to my heart. And first, I've got to say this too. I mean, not first, this is second. I want to thank my readers. I've had so many family members, co-workers, friends who have read my book and they have given me awesome and great feedback. I mean, I can't thank you guys enough. It really makes my heart feel so full to know that people have read the book and enjoyed it. I want to thank the two ladies that are here with me today, my sister and Nicole, because they read my book, gave me feedback, and then they even said, yes, Donna, we'll do a blog with you. So I am so excited and so thankful. So go ahead, ladies, introduce yourselves.
My name is Tamiko Eastspan. I'm on Instagram as T Eastspan, of course. I don't know if you can tell or not. I am her older sister. So I'll be blogging with her today.
Yay!
And my name is Nicole Charles, and I'm just happy to be here and share in the discussion of unlocking the mysteries of love.
Yay! All right, so let's dig in. I think we said we were going to start with some Q&A. When I was talking to Nicole about the book, she was like, you know, I have so many questions that I would love to ask you. And I've had some of my friends who have read the book, they text me and said, oh my God, where do I start? I have so many things to ask you. So I thought that doing this blog would be a good idea so that maybe some of the questions that we discuss here are some of the questions that you guys also wanted to know as well. So no better place than to start than at the beginning. Nicole, you want to go first?
Thank you.
Okay.
So yeah, I found your book very insightful and surprisingly so, because we always hear so much about love, 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 love. Everyone thinks that they know about love, want to write about love and talk about love. So I was really pleasantly surprised at the detail you went into, the topics you covered, the reality of your book. So my first question when I read the book was, what was your inspiration? I mean, after watching some of the videos that you've put out, the vlogs, also the videos you perform with your husband. So I was really curious of what inspired you.
There were a lot of things that inspired me about the relationship that I share with my husband. That was my biggest inspiration, was the connection that he and I have shared through the years, which hasn't always been pleasant. You guys seen the video. Yes. But what I really wanted to do, because even though I went through a difficult time in my relationship, that was a great learning experience for me, and I was able to learn a lot. I think everything in life happens on purpose. And if that had not happened to me, I don't believe I would have come to this level. And so the things that I learned when I went through that difficult situation, I thought were invaluable. And I wanted to share those things with everybody. And so, you know, why not write it down and put it in a book? So that was my huge inspiration, my relationship, the very difficult time I went through in my relationship, and then just being able to remain true to who I was.
Right.
I was like, how was I able to do that?
Exactly.
Let me think about it. And I did. And I thought about how I was able to do it. And then that's when the book came.
Okay. So now we're talking about that. So again, the videos with your husband, you're discussing the history of your relationship, some of the issues you had. How were you able to, or did you have to convince him to participate, to be so open, to have that open dialogue on video and capture that, some of your deepest moments in your relationship?
That is a good question. Because when I was writing this book 3.5, 4 years ago, he had no idea. So I was just sitting in bed every night writing these lessons that I've learned through the years. And of course, being married to him for 9 years, he was a part of some of those lessons.
Mm-hmm.
So it was hard for me to share the lesson and not share the individual.
Right.
So he had to be in the book. So the writing, I never sought his permission. Sorry, husband. But later on, when the book came out, he said, "Am I in the book?" I said, "Well, of course you are." Mm-hmm. So, you know, he wondered, was he in the book? But he never asked to what extent. Mm-hmm. Like, how much did you talk about?
I'm sure he didn't assume that you were going to share so much. I'm sure he didn't think that some of those things were going to be in the book.
I don't think he did either.
And so what was his response? Or did you tell him? Did you have him read the book first?
I told him to read the book. And I don't know if he read all of it, but I did. I said, "You should read it, baby. It's really good." Mm-hmm. So, but what I did try to do in the book, and that's why I said this is a really great question, Nicole. I really tried to not embarrass him. No. The book, and I think he had that concern when he asked, "Am I in the book?" Because some of the things that happen can tend to be embarrassing. Mm-hmm. And so what I tried to do when I was writing the book was make sure that it did not go into a way to bash or embarrass. Mm-hmm. And so I tried to stay true to that. You know, I tried to give the essence of what the relationship was and how we met and how we fell in love. Mm-hmm. But I didn't want to embarrass him. And so I think once he saw that that's not what the book was about at all, it was not a book about, hey, this is what my man did to me. When he saw that, he became confident in this whole ministry that was evolving from it. Wow. And so when he got to that comfort level, he actually came to me and said, "Hey, let's do the video." Wow. Which was so interesting, and I was so excited about it.
So he partnered now with you in talking about relationships, talking about challenges, and reaching out to folks. Yeah. That's amazing.
I think it is, but he had to trust that my intent was pure. Because, you know, some when you get hurt people. So he was like, "Are you going to try to
sometimes
ambush?"
Their behaviors can be very embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like they be embarrassed of their own behavior. Mm-hmm. And when you're embarrassed, that means you know a little bit better. Yeah. Right. So sometimes men think that when you're telling your truth, they think you're trying to bash them, but you're just trying to tell your truth on your end. Right.
Mm-hmm. And then I think we've talked about this before. I think you were saying the feedback on the video, that particular video with you and your husband, you had a great response. Mm-hmm. And I do feel like men want to hear from other men. Women want to hear from men too. Mm-hmm. And men also want to hear from other men.
They do. Right. Because when you're going through difficult situations and you see it play out, the man perspective is rarely given from his own perspective. It's given from someone else's perspective, or the man's perspective is given from an instructive perspective. Right. Like, you're a man, you should do this. You're a man, you should do this. And a man is never really allowed to have his authentic voice. True. I don't know what it's like to be a man. I don't know what it's like to be a husband. I don't know what it's like to be a father. And so I don't like to come to my husband from the perspective of, well, this is what you should be doing, this is what you should be saying, but I like for him to say, well, tell me what's your experience. Right. And there's more to learn from someone's experience versus coming to them from an instructive guideline perspective. So I just try to be open to that, and I think that's why we went to that level.
I think you just said, I think that's what makes your book different. It isn't this instructional, well, here's what you need to do. Mm-hmm. I have all the answers for you. It is sort of like this guide, and also it really just reads like you sharing your experiences, and from that it teaches others.
Well, in your chapter you discuss knowing yourself. Mm-hmm. Is that dire important when you're choosing to have a mate or mate with someone? Mm-hmm. Like, how important is it knowing yourself?
Well, what I did with the book is I broke it into 2 segments. Chapter 1 through 3 discusses getting to know yourself. And then the remaining of the book is getting to know your mate. So I think when you know those 2 things, when you know who you are and you know who the person that you're dealing with, when you know who they are and you have a mutual respect for both, then you're able to have a productive, marriage. Yeah. So yes, I do think that getting to know yourself is extremely important because, and I could have done a whole book on this, like I was telling Nicole when we talked about it before. It could have been a whole book on self-discovery. Yes. But I tried to equate it to what does self-discovery mean as it attributes to a relationship.
Right.
So that's in the chapter in the book. That's what I was trying to do, is show how you knowing yourself benefits your relationship.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel what I went through, there is no way that I would have survived and been able to continue on with my career, with my life objectives, be a good mother. There's no way I could have done that if I didn't have a sound sense of who I was. And so, and there's a lot of things that I've gone through, like in college and just in life in general. But I tried to hit on those main nuggets, like the self-dependence and self-realization. I thought they were very important.
That's very important, knowing who you are, because sometimes us as young ladies, we have been molded from a child to an adult to be a wife. Because as Christmas, I don't know, everybody, you get dolls, how to be a mother.
True.
And as for men, they don't get that. They don't get that. They just know they're supposed to be a husband. They're supposed to be a man, but they never have been molded the way we have been. I just thought that was really important, because sometimes young ladies have an idea that marriage is magical, and it really takes a lot of work, and it's a lot of work within you. And I thought that was very important. I was like, wow, that's really important.
Yeah.
And the next thing is about soulmate, because some people think when you marry your soulmate. That's not always true.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Not true.
Not true. And you kind of look back on previous relationships and you feel more connected to that person, but at that time you really wasn't ready, neither was that individual.
Right.
Like when I seen where you was researching about soulmates, like what made you incorporate that in your book?
Well, it's so interesting because I talked to friends through the years and have had this conversation from so many perspectives. I had the soulmate conversation when I was 21, when you believe there's one soulmate.
Yeah.
And I had the soulmate conversation at 28, when you know that can't be true. So I touched on it in the book because I wanted to unlock the veil that people put around. They romanticize what a marriage is, but I wanted to open people up to see that it's really bigger than what people think. People put this soulmate thing in this very small box that says, and they put love in this very small box that says there's only one, you find the one, and that's a lot of pressure to go through. How many people is it in the world? 8.6 quadrillion, or something like that.
Yeah.
And you mean to tell me I gotta go through all these people and find the one person that's pregnant? That is a lot of pressure. And so my book was trying to debunk that mystery. It's not that hard. It shouldn't be that much pressure on us to try to find this one particular person that's our soulmate, because the truth is, you encounter your soulmates every day. You two are my soulmates. So you encounter your soulmates every day, and so I'm trying to help people to see that it's much broader and it's much more in depth than the world try to lead us to believe. So that's why I touched on soulmate in the book. I didn't speak that much on it in the book, but I did touch on it because it's not a narrow trail that people believe.
Yeah, soulmates is the opposite sex.
Yeah,
but you can link with people on different levels.
Right. Soulmate is someone who elevates your soul to a higher level.
You meet your soulmate? Am I unfulfilled, not a full person, until I meet that one? Or am I full on my own, and then I encounter another person, soulmate, if you will, and grow even more from there? So I'm not empty and lost until I find that person. I think that's what we're kind of trained, that, you know.
Yeah.
That's the myth.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what
I'm just going to sit here and wait.
Until.
Right. And then I'll be complete. And then I can start living my life and be all the things that I want to be when I first find that soulmate.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the myth. And that's completely what chapter 1 through 3 is about. Y'all get the book even if you just want to read chapter 1 through 3. It's designed to debunk that myth. Because if you read the Bible carefully, and this is not going to be a sermon, but if you read the Bible carefully in Corinthians, Paul even speaks to the fact that being alone is good.
Yeah.
Being single is good. Yeah. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being alone
you get
or being
single.
you get to evaluate yourself, you get to know yourself, and you get to serve the Creator. Because remember, at the end of the day, our true assignment on this earth is to serve the Creator. And if you're lucky enough to find someone that can serve the Creator with you, that's a blessing too.
Yeah.
But if you don't find that person, and you find other people in life that compliment you or teach you lessons, or that break up with you and make you cry, that's all a part of your assignment. And so, love is not just having a wedding and getting married. Love is serving the Creator.
It's not. Yeah. It's not about the dress and the gifts and
the
ring and the honeymoon and my ring.
The superficial. Some young ladies, they really do think that. Yeah. And it's deeper.
It's something we're going to talk about later. But I think the confusion is that in marriage, we tend to put a lot of pressure on the other person to perform to their maximum level all the time, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You got to perform. You got to make me smile. You got to make me feel good. You got to make me happy.
You got to do these things.
You got to help me. And that's another thing in the book that I try to indirectly get the message out, is that it's not the putting pressure on the other person to perform, but if you perform and you create the energy and you create the space, you will get those things back. I remember distinctly having a conversation with my husband 2 years ago, and I think I hit on this in the book, but I said, I would do anything for you because you deserve it. I said, I do it for you because of God. And he became furious.
Wow.
What do you mean you don't do it because I deserve it? I do deserve it. But the truth is, we don't.
No.
I don't deserve Lee commitment. I don't deserve Lee's greatness, even though I think that I do. I think that I do, y'all. Don't get it now confused. But in God's perspective, I don't deserve that. I'm just a sloppy vessel like him.
Yeah.
But who does deserve it is God. I'm not faithful to my husband because he's great. I'm faithful to him because I'm faithful to God.
Right.
And so, and I want the message to be that when you serve the Creator, you will serve mankind just as well as they deserve to be served, because you're serving God.
That is so true. We had discussed this the other day. Some people think, well, I'm doing it because of him. And some people really don't understand it's much greater than you. It's the covenant. You're doing it because you told God himself I was going to do this job until you remove me or keep me in this position.
That's in the book in chapter 3 that I mentioned is marriage isn't love. So I wanted to put that out there in the book, but I also want to get you guys' perspective on this concept that love is enduring and marriage is an assignment. So you all are married. I think everybody on this panel has been married longer than 5 years. So that means we've had a lot of work to do.
Yes, self-discovery.
I'm interested in getting you all's perspective on what is the difference in love and marriage, and is love enduring? Is marriage an assignment? Are they all one?
Wow. Yes. Marriage is enduring. Love is enduring. Marriage is an assignment. I definitely believe in that.
Yes.
And I think, Don, you and I were having a conversation that me and my husband were having, and he and I are opposites. But in that, and I was just like, how did we get together? I'm driving, I'm frustrated. I'm like, how did we get together? Because, we're the opposite. And he's like, well, we were put together. We didn't choose each other. And I thought, that's right. We were, that is true. And you and I talked about we were assigned.
Yes.
And this is true. And so in building that and getting to learn each other, know each other, learn ourselves, it goes beyond love. Love is there, but I feel like it is the commitment that keeps us. The romance is there too. It's not there all the time, because sometimes you're just in work mode, and for you, mom mode, parent mode. So romance is there, but it's not all the time. And so what keeps us is the commitment. We've decided to do this, and actually I think it was like even last weekend, me and my husband going back and forth having our discussion, and discussion.
I love it.
But and so I said, well, we, regardless of what happens, we have committed to do this. We have committed to grow old together. We got married I was in my mid to late 30s, so he was in his upper 40s, I believe. So at that point, it's like, okay, we're just going to commit to go on down.
If marriage is your assignment, do you continue to stay on that assignment even though you are changing vibrationally?
Wow.
I still don't know the answer to that.
I have gone through a lot of transformation and changes, and I think my husband's transformation has been a lot slower. Not saying that he hasn't changed, because that's not true, but I know that we're on a level of vibration and pull, we're different.
Yes.
So how do you stay on the assignment? Can you complete the assignment when the person is not changing at the same rate? Or
I think that's okay. Because I think in my situation, I think I need to get to a certain level in order to be able to be in a position to support my husband as he raises his vibration.
This is the last part, ladies. This has been a great conversation. So just keeping with the theme here of how everything is really about you. It's not about your mate. You know, it's really about focusing on you. Is really what this book is about. Discovering who you are. Keeping with that theme, I just want to ask the question of what have you all learned about yourself in your marriage? Tamika, whoever wants to go first.
Thank you.
Very interesting
Okay.
concept.
So that was a challenging question.
Very.
And so I guess to reveal a little bit something about myself, I discovered that I'm very self-oriented. Not mean that I'm not generous or giving or open, but I think my tendency is to think about myself first.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
I know that was hard to say.
That was hard to say.
I
I'm
know.
saying it to the world. That's great. True confession. Yeah, so I have to work on that.
Really?
It's a
Never
thing.
thought that, Nicole.
Yeah. Okay, so for example, I went to Starbucks this morning and I asked my husband if he wanted something. He said no. And I got my coffee and a little pastry, and I met him back at Home Depot. And he's like, oh, what was... And I sat there and ate my little pastry in front of him. He's like, oh, well, what was that? And I said, he's, oh, well, you only... And I looked, but I'm like, I didn't really see anything to catch my eye for him, so I just got my one little thing, and I guess, yeah, I could have gotten one for him, too. And that's just, offer him a piece, and I did not. And so, that's just a small example of just, it's my world revolves around me.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, that's hard to just kind of put out there. So it's something I try to be conscious of. I wasn't conscious of it this morning, but it's something I try to pay attention to.
So if you weren't on your marriage assignment, if you weren't on this assignment with your husband, do you think that the mirror would have been held up and you would have discovered that?
No, it wouldn't have been an issue. Because then just continue to be about me. Right? And then without the marriage and that partnership, it would just continue to be about myself.
And see, and that's what I think is going to let Tamiko answer her experience. But I think that's a lot of part that people miss is that marriage is really a mirror. It's not so much the love and the romance, which what we were talking about earlier. It's not so much about that. It's really a mirror that holds up, that allows you to grow. Because yes, is your person that you're married to, are they your soulmate? Well, apparently so, because they're on the journey with you. Are they your twin flame? Maybe they are your twin flame. But marriage is really like this mirror. And when I was able to, I had to self-learn that. And when I was able to see that marriage is a mirror, and it's not about me picking my spouse apart and trying to make him perfect. It was really about me learning more about myself. When I was able to do that, it was a lot of burden released. Trust. It was a lot of burden released off of me. So anyway.
Piggyback off of what Nicole said, I'm the opposite. I'm a helper, and I tend to neglect myself. And I have to learn that sometimes you need to be selfish at times and serve yourself to make you a better wife.
Wow.
Because sometimes when you help people, they tend to think that they become too comfortable with that, and you tend to be taken for granted. And I have learned I have to put myself first on a lot of things.
That's deep.
I have to think about myself, because it's hard to help someone when they don't really know what they need help with. So it's best to not say, I'm a very verbal person. I tend to say what's on my mind. I have learned to not say everything that you're thinking. It's just best to just not say anything at all. because you can't help a lot of people. You can't. With my mate, I have learned to just say less. Say less.
All right, well, there you have it. I hope that you guys really enjoy our segment. Again, I have to thank you, Nicole, for participating.
For having me.
I appreciate it. And thank you, Tamiko. I really appreciate you all coming in and sharing just like these tidbits from your marriage. It's not easy to find couples or married people that want to participate and kind of be transparent. So I really appreciate it. I know it was not easy, and I appreciate you guys. And I hope this video helps someone and that you found the inspiration in it. I hope you guys get the book and read the book, and I hope this piqued your interest to want to read the book and really see what it's talking about as it relates to love and as it relates to marriage. Again, I want you guys to like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram at Donna E. Knight. I'm also on Facebook. I don't know what I am on Facebook, but I'm on there. Donna E. Knight, that's all I know. And I would appreciate you guys following, and thank you for joining. And I love you guys for watching. Come on, cast and crew. Yeah.
I can do it. I can do it.
You can.
What's that?
Like, oh, I ain't taking up all this oxygen. Like, what made that hit home?
I think because so when we got married, I had so many issues, so many unresolved things.
Okay.
And so for me, my husband was always talking about my stuff and dissecting my stuff and excuse me, always about me. And so now I have grown and developed. We've moved. We've done these things. And now it's okay. Well, what about you? I'm waiting on you to get your stuff together. That's me telling my husband because we have always focused on me.
Oh wow!
And at the same time, it's always easy to focus on the other person. Yeah, you need help doing this, and you need help. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm good. I'm more than good. Okay, now what are you? Because now I can see all your stuff, and I have time and space to kind of look at you and say, okay, well, you need to step up your thing. And okay, how much time is this going to take? And I'm waiting on you. Right? So I think that's why. So yeah, it kind of all fit. That I'll be done. Yes, but that's my need.
But that's a conversation that the universe gives you what you need. See, so the universe knows your subconscious.
Yeah.
So imagine like someone who's floating around. Now, see, you had your awakening in Hawaii.
Yeah, maybe.
So
in Hawaii,
like Nicole had this whole awakening. So you connected to the universe and it knew what you need. But think about the people who haven't connected to the universe, who have no clue who they are, don't know what they need. They're not self-sufficient. They're not. Those people are waiting for someone to come along.